Hello, how are you? Today I'm going to tell you about a Japanese weight loss technique that's wonderful, delivers great results, and no matter what you eat, it will help you lose weight. You're going to love this video. You can start putting it into practice today. Stay until the end because you won't want to miss it. If you love videos about nutrition, health, and fitness, you're going to love this channel. So go ahead, subscribe, and remember to turn on the notification bell to get updates. I have new videos every day and you're going to love them. If you enjoy these videos with weight loss tips and interesting facts from other cultures that can help us be healthier, go ahead and give it a like, and I'll come back here and make more videos like this for you. So let's start talking about this Japanese technique. I call it a technique because actually it's not a diet. It's not related to what you eat. It's not about what they prepare on a daily basis, since the Japanese have a very specific diet. I even have a video here on the channel talking more about the Japanese diet, their lifestyle, their daily habits, which are usually very healthy, but obviously they're very different from ours. And this specific technique I'm talking about here isn't related to the food they eat and isn't connected to specific day-to-day matters. It's more about how you deal with food and what the mealtime experience is like. I'll explain this to you now. It's worth mentioning that this technique originated in the city of Okinawa, which is very well known for being one of the cities that make up the blue zones. I even have a really cool video here talking about the blue zones, which are parts of our planet where there are populations of centenarians, people who live very long and healthy lives. And this technique originated in the city of Okinawa, which is a very well-known city both in Japan and abroad. They developed this dietary strategy to have a better relationship with food, not for weight loss, because their BMI tends to be even a bit lower, but they did this focusing more on longevity and disease prevention. And in fact, this helped a lot because it's one of the places in the world with the lowest incidence of cardiovascular diseases, strokes, diabetes, and other related conditions. The name of this technique, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly since it's in Japanese, but you'll understand. It's called Hara Hachi, and it's about eating until you feel satisfied, but not full. It says that ideally, you should eat 80% of what you would normally eat, or approximately 2/3 of the portion you would usually have at meals. Obviously, there isn't an exact number because no one is going to grab a scale and start weighing out and removing 20%, but it's for you to get an idea of what you would eat and then take out a portion, a significant amount, maybe 25% or a third, so that you reduce your calorie intake and eat less. What will help you in the medium and long term isn't a huge restriction in a single day. You'll still feel energetic, you'll still feel satisfied, your hunger will be gone, but you won't have that stuffed feeling that so many people have nowadays. People want to eat until they can't fit any more food. They want to go to all-you-can-eat restaurants, to places with unlimited soda refills. So people are very used to overloading their stomachs, and they are really completely against that feeling of being stuffed. Another important detail of this technique is that they really value the way you handle your food. The Japanese have a very respectful attitude toward food, and they tend to be more present in the moment. They have a perspective that's much more about enjoying the moment, including the act of eating itself. So they say it's very important that you chew your food thoroughly and that you spend at least 20 minutes eating, whether it's lunch, dinner, or a bigger breakfast. Because that way, you'll send more signals of satiety to your brain without having to stuff yourself. Nowadays, there's even a name for this: mindful eating. That means paying attention while you eat, being present in the moment as you have your meal. And this can actually bring benefits precisely because of the issue of taste. You enjoy your food more, you end up eating less because the feeling of fullness reaches you sooner. So it turns out to be really interesting. It's very important that over time you actually start putting less food on your plate, less drink in your glass. Whether it's milk, a smoothie, juice, that you reduce the portions so you don't have that temptation to eat another piece, a little more. And so you don't waste food, which is also something they're really against over there. So ideally, you should start trying to have this perspective on your eating habits. For example, if you would normally put 4 tablespoons of rice on your plate and 4 of beans, start putting 3 of rice and 3 of beans. Reduce a piece of chicken breast. Salad isn't much of a problem because it's really very low in calories. But try to reduce little by little, without being too radical, what you put on your plate, so that you get better results from this in the medium and long term. Even though this technique, as I mentioned, doesn't focus on specific diets or specific foods, they strongly suggest that you choose good foods during the time you are trying out this type of eating, this new eating technique. and that you avoid processed foods, industrialized products, fried foods, fast food, because if you eat these foods that are very calorie dense, often they don't have fiber, sometimes they have little protein. So they usually don't make you feel as full, which is why people eat a lot of them. So if you eat these and reduce the portion even more, the tendency is that you'll feel hungrier and end up eating more things. Whereas, as I mentioned before, if you focus on rice, beans, meat, vegetables, and you reduce the amount of these, but still stick to good sources of food, vegetables, greens, fruits, high-quality protein, you'll be able to feel satisfied. And best of all, you'll get fiber, minerals, vitamins, antioxidants, which are important for our bodies. Sometimes a person eats a very industrialized, highly processed diet with few micronutrients and ends up experiencing that hidden hunger, the body asking for vitamins and minerals, so they feel an exaggerated sense of hunger. So remember to vary your vegetables. I even have a playlist here of vegetarian recipes, which can also be complemented with fish, chicken, or meat. But these are ideas where vegetables are the star and can help you. And many people there say that for those who are just starting this process, it might be harder to reduce what you put on your plate, since people want to have that feeling of a full plate. You can try using a smaller plate. Some people actually swap their regular dinner plate for a dessert plate. And also, instead of drinking from a normal size glass, they use a smaller one that holds half the volume, or even less. That's an option too. Because when you reduce the size of your utensils, you can improve, since obviously you won't be able to fit the same amount of food, and you end up being able to reach that goal as well. This Hara Hachi Bu technique is really interesting, but remember, as I mentioned, I have a great video here on the channel talking more about Japanese eating habits. How are they so slim while eating so much rice? There are some really great tips there that can help you lose weight and be healthier, which is what matters most. There's also a video here talking more about the Korean diet. They are one of the peoples with the highest life expectancy in the world. And there are things you can do, habits they have in their daily lives, teas, and tips you can add to your own routine. And I also have another really cool video talking about the French diet, because usually over there they eat a lot of bread, a lot of sweets. How do they manage to stay slim? I'll leave these videos I mentioned about other cultures down below in the description, and how we can bring that reality into our own daily lives. So click here if you want to know more about them, and let me know in the comments if there's another culture whose eating habits you find interesting. If you want me to talk more about this, I'll come here and make a video for you. And finally, a really great tip is that for you to practice mindful eating, to really pay attention to your food in that moment so you can stay present right there. Always remember to conscientiously turn off the television. Don't mess around with your phone. Don't browse the internet aimlessly. Don't scroll through Instagram or look at news pages unnecessarily. That is your precious mealtime, so truly focus on it. Savor every bite of your delicious food and be profoundly grateful for it. Really savor your food, notice the taste, the interesting details, be present in that moment, because that's how you'll also achieve a better sense of satiety. Let me know down below if you already use this technique on your own, if you're going to start doing it now, or if you think it just doesn't work for you. I'd love to see your comment. Give the video a like, it really helps me out, and share it with someone who would enjoy it or needs it. Let's spread this chain of good together. That's what I want here on the channel. See you next time. Bye.